Hello and hi and welcome back to Wintertime Flowers. It's actually feeling a little closer to winter today, weirdly enough. We're still in the dead-ass middle of summer, but it's somehow going to be like 42 degrees tonight, and it only got up to about 72 today. So that's weird. Anyway, how you doing? The last time we were together, whole bunch of stuff happened. How you feeling about it? You doing well after all that? After all that, we've had some time to sit and do some thinking and to run over some things before we dive into the next route. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about what I think's going on. So if you would like to ignore or not listen to me babble here for the first few minutes and you want to just jump right into us starting the next route, there's a link that you can click down in the description. It's a timestamp and it'll jump you right to where you want to be. But anyway, so a lot of things happened in that first ending, the Mayuri ending, that there's just a whole bunch of no explanation for. And I think obviously a lot of that is on purpose, and I think that some of it is just things that you can infer. And the things that you can infer, I believe, is probably to do with the biggest thing, which I imagine to some people could probably look a bit like an ass pull, with Mayuri showing up during the play at the end. Just kind of out of nowhere and finishing things off with Suo and all that. And I think that can easily be explained. I think that despite the fact that we didn't see what happened and what led to that, I don't think it's hard to kind of deduce what happened there. We know that Mayuri is in the school because Suo has been communicating with her at various points throughout the school, literally just being one room away. So we know that she's here. She's not in some faraway facility somewhere, and seemingly isn't in any danger whatsoever. So my thinking here is that during that third meeting with Yuzuriha, which happened in the library, and then everybody kind of discovered what was hidden in the secret library room, I believe at that point when Yuzuriha said that, like, her and Nerine's obligation to whoever they were working for, which at this point I think we have to assume is Dahlia, she said that their obligation to this person is over, and she just kind of started helping move books off the shelves so that Suo and company could get in. What I think happened at that point is that after that, Yuzu likely went to, I'm going to assume, again, Dahlia, and was just like, yeah, the jig is up, the cat's out of the bag, and we cannot put the cat back in the bag because we would look silly trying to do so. So y'all kind of need to just, like, give up the ghost here and let this reunion happen. And so I think that that's what happened there. I think that that's why Mayuri shows up at the end. And obviously it was done during the play so that it could be, you know, a big dramatic thing. And it was just a big surprise for Suo, who's worked really hard throughout everything. Now, the other thing that we don't 100% know, but I think that we can make a pretty good assumption at, is that Mayuri is where she is of her own accord, and it feels like this is a decision that, like it's been floated that maybe, you know, she's gone because she wants to be. She did whatever she's done here, whatever this is all about. She's doing it of her own free will. This was a choice that she made, and it's a choice that she could maybe be feeling bad about at this point, because obviously why would she go out of her way to kind of like give the clue that, yes, I'm here, like, here is a clue. I feel that, like, maybe she does kind of harbor some regret and absolutely did want that reunion with Suo and sort of like helping them kind of break this veil of secrecy as to whatever's happening here. It was the catalyst for whoever Mother Elder is, and whoever the caretaker is, and whoever and whoever else is involved was just like, all right, we'll let this happen. Like, we can't, like, we look absolutely silly if we try to deny anything that's happened here. So that's kind of my thought process as to where we're at right now, is that Yuzuriha probably told him, like, look, the jig's up, we can't stuff this back in the box, and that Mayuri, for some reason in the spring, left of her own free will. As far as things that we are not sure of, I do not understand what's going on with Mother Elder. I have no idea still how Dahlia is involved with this. I'm assuming that these are things that are probably going to shake out now. I think that the writers kind of presented it this way to let us make these assumptions like this, to kind of grasp, all right, this is what's going on, and then I have to imagine they're going to actually show us what's going on this time around, because with the route we have to do now, we literally just make the same exact choices that we made for the first playthrough, and apparently some things are going to change throughout. So there may be a little bit of an editing job on this video here, since we are going to basically be making the same decisions and probably doing a lot of skipping, and I don't know that I have a lot to say over the course of skipping scenes, but we will absolutely be showing you every scene that is new on this route. So I guess that's kind of the end of me babbling. I guess this is where we can punch back in now. Hi, how you doing? You successfully skipped like 5 minutes of me babbling and theorizing. Hopefully you got your own theories and stuff going forward. So anyway, like I was saying before the link, this playthrough we will be making the same exact choices, but apparently something may change. That's all I know from what the guide says, is that all the choices made for this particular route are literally the same choices you make the first time through, only I create a save near the end of this route for some reason. So, that out of the way, we're jumping back in. Staring out at the landscape shrouded in a white haze, I feel like I'm looking into my own mind. Okay, this is kind of familiar. The view from my room, from which I've long been absent, is clouded like tea after a hazy splash of milk, and the trees and cliffs hidden behind a gauzy curtain. Oh! This is Shion Basquiat. This is not Mayuri, because we notice a very prominent lack of a hairpin. So I guess this is what we're going to be doing now. We're going to actually be seeing some of this story from Shion Basquiat's point of view, and I have to imagine we are going to be finding out what exactly happened to her. Her face floats, ghost-like, out of the mist. My noble amitié, more beautiful than anyone, with her hair as black as a crow's plumage. Our first meeting was straight out of the pages of a novel. I looked up through the falling cherry blossom petals to see her, reaching out a hand toward the fluttering flowers like a fairy. We ended up in the same class, and then we became amitié partners. As we got to know one another, I realized how startlingly different we were. I loved plants, bugs, nature. I had little concern for people. I knew I wouldn't fit in with my classmates and had resigned myself to that fact. I was not arrogant enough to dream that I could achieve something I didn't even want. However, my amitié provided a bridge between my world and the normal one. She encouraged me to integrate with everyone. Frankly, at first I found her meddling unwelcome. But as I unfurled and stepped into worlds other than my own, I changed my mind. I still loved nature as much as ever, but I found a space in my heart for people too. Oh. Perhaps it all started when I rescued her after she got caught up in that one affair. Suddenly, she was aware of me, and with my sharp intuition, I noticed. Same-sex love. I've been baptized, but despite that, I was pleased that she felt that way about me. I was happy when she put me first. And then those vexing feelings finally culminated in... Those vexing feelings finally resulted in Yuri! So she calls Sayuri Yuri, just as other people have called Mayuri Yuri as well. I whispered the name of my beloved and let out a long, soft sigh. How did things end up this way? At the beginning, I thought it was just your usual petty quarrel. I thought it would resolve itself soon enough. But the distance that had opened between the two of us steadily widened until it was a gulf that could never be filled. I always looked forward to the Feast of the Assumption. But for me, that holy occasion is now... Grandmother? Okay, so we need... Okay. So, this has to be... Grandmother is Mother Elder. Okay, we know that much. Which, again, that's probably an assumption we could have easily made, given that person seemed old and in a wheelchair, obviously could not have been Dahlia's mother, so obviously it would have to be Dahlia's stepmother? Or not stepmother, but grandmother? Where did stepmother come into this? That stepmother on the brain. I'm like Suo right now. Now I ain't even got a stepmother. Hearing Mother call for me, I respond that I'm on my way. Okay, so her mom is okay. So if this is set up similarly to how Mayuri is her situation, oh God, this is weird. So the caretaker is probably okay. Wow, that is something for the brain to chew on. Jeez. Okay. For some reason, I'm tormented by a feeling of irritation, a sense of something scratching away inside me, a sense of solitude, like being left all alone on the dark side of the moon. I pray for my beloved Amitie, somewhere on the other side of that white mist. I pray that she will be happy and healthy, and that she Oh my God, Mayuri's scene ended literally the same way. She literally prayed for Shion's health and happiness, and if this is not like the same exact phrasing, like she hoped that her little prayer would be answered. Okay. We are getting a clearer picture now. All right, so now here we are. This is new. Shion Basquiat's story began with those words. They began with, "What I want, I will never have," I imagine. But we don't know because I skipped. All right. She wrote candidly of the anxiety she felt when she started at St. Ingracum Academy after leaving home for the first time. So this is Sayuri reading the letters now, after the fact. Her worries about whether she would fit in remind me of when I started at the academy too. However... Yep. She wrote when she met me beneath the cherry trees. All her worries faded at once like a receding wave. And that, with those eyes, My eyes on her, like she was the only thing that mattered, she found herself unable to look away too. She wrote how when she first saw me, I seemed to her like some kind of fairy, a wild exaggeration of course, yet I felt the same way about her. Glossy hair, skin so pale it was almost translucent, features that could have been carved by a sculptor. There was something ethereal about her, standing there in the moonlight. She laid her feelings bare, thinking back on it. Perhaps her heart was stolen right then and there. She wrote about that night under the cherry trees in full bloom, when we conversed for the first time. It wasn't long ago, yet it feels like the distant past. But her parting words were ominous. I believe it was fate that brought us together, yet the chance meeting also led to an anguish that would tear me apart. Combined with that opening sentence, the thing I want, I will never have. The heavy truth of those words was like a weight on my chest, crushing me as I picked up the next letter. Hang on, folks, it's gonna be real sad. Oh, I hate it. All right, we're locking in. We're not gonna cry. We're not gonna cry. You just gotta smile. You just gotta smile. It's hard to cry when you're smiling. All right, here we go. Second one. Mine and Shion's story continues. Upon enrolling at the academy, we were assigned to be each other's amitié partner. The circumstances that led to this aren't recorded in detail. She simply writes that things got difficult. I reminisce about the amitié partner selection test and remember the odd, conflicted look of joy and consternation on Shion's face when we heard the results. As I read through the letter, she talks about all the experiences we had together. How I enthusiastically tutored her in subjects she struggled with. How when we were paired up during the orienteering and she sprained her ankle, out of a foolish sense of pride, I helped her. How that was the point at which we acknowledged one another as friends. How we struggled through classical ballet lessons together and practiced together. She writes how we spent more and more time together. We came to realize that we were falling for one another. When she looked at me, she was entranced by the beauty she lacked. Not by the beauty of my face, but the natural light and vitality that burst forth from me, like my body simply couldn't contain it. A light had long been extinguished in her. Whenever she was engrossed in something, my amitié would lay her hand on her knee, her fingers tapping out a rhythm. Even that habit I found endearing. She felt that way even about my annoying habits. My heart trembles and tears well in my eyes. We never know what we have until it's gone. I try to stop my hand from shaking as I read on until I come to the last line. In a trembling hand, she tells of how a particular tragedy changed us. Wiping away my tears, I pick up the final letter to see my sin with my own eyes. After I finished reading Xion Basquiat's letter, I rubbed the tears from my eyes before they could fall. And I decided to write my own letter. I want to lay my heart bare for the sake of the girl who so honestly bared her own. I suppose I should start with the Feast of the Assumption. At first, I was surprised that Xion was chosen over me for the role of the Virgin Mary, but I was happy for her. She was well suited to the role, kind and compassionate toward everyone as she was. Despite my initial warmth, though, from that moment onward, a small rift started to open up between us. As our classmates began to speculate about whether favoritism had been at play, my initial acceptance faltered and I started to suspect as much myself. Then, as our relationship soured, she beat me for the first time in ballet, an area where I had always excelled. Xion tried to play it off as a lucky break. But I snapped back at her with cruel, inconsiderate words. In my obstinacy, I made no effort to repair the cracks that had appeared between us. Like a coward, I ignored them and her. I recorded my feelings in the letter. I knew how hard she'd worked for it, so I wasn't upset, but I realized now that we had become too close. That was exactly the problem. Because of our closeness, I assumed we would soon mend the rift. Without the perspective of distance, I didn't realize the depth of the wound. Suppressing the tremor in my hands, I write, I don't expect forgiveness from my amitié. After all, I was the one who first reached out my hand to her, yet now there I was, pulling out of her grip. These words will never reach her, yet I shed tears of regret as I composed them, hoping with all my heart that the emotions contained within might find her. Of course I should have faced up to her. I should have apologized and made things right. But because of my own willful stubbornness, my amitié is gone, and I will never see her again. Rest in peace, my beloved Xion. After I finished writing, I was struck with the urge to add another line, a wish that someone might grant should they ever discover this silly missive. The ugly scrawled note is laughable, but it's the only way I have to make my plea. Given the depth of my sin, I have no right to ask for salvation. But if you recognize these feelings of mine, please take me to her. Please, so that my amitié and I might join hands once again. Okay. Jumping in right about here because I did happen to notice that there is something a bit different here, but if you actually use next to skip past the play, you will actually miss the unique little ending that gets inserted into the play. So we'll go ahead and play all that out now. It's absolutely worth it. It's still pretty much the same. It's just, you know, little something gets added here at the end.
ピタリと。やっと見つけた。私の求めていた姫君。私もずっと探し求めていた。
Again, still real beautiful how they tie this story to their story. Oh, it's so good.
さあ、今度はお前が幸せになる番だ。お願いです、女王陛下。彼女を私の妃に迎え入れることを
Again,
もちろんです。
like,
意義などありません。
not really, not that they needed Rika's approval, but I do like the idea of her kind of giving Suo away. It feels very, much like her kind of like letting those feelings go for real.
愛し合う二人を
Not the first time people have been able to like express their feelings on stage in this series, I feel. Like they kind of like been able to speak their real feelings and kind of make peace with some things.
良いのですよ。誓いの指輪を。 君を幸せにする。約束するよ。今度こそ約束をたがえない。私はもう十分に幸せです。私はあなたがいてくれたから愛を知ることができた。一人になったことで真の友情を得ることができた。そうか。でも私の前からいなくならないで。
We're gonna hope that's the case this time.
このひとときは永遠だ。
There you go! That's gonna go over real well at a religious boarding school, but who cares? Cendrillon and the prince exchange a kiss. It wasn't in the script, but everybody in the audience is freaking out. The kiss bound them together like a spell, enveloping them in a magic that would endure for all eternity. Cendrillon was man, it's real emotional. Cendrillon was covered not in ashes, but in love. An enduring love that, like an enchanted flower, would never wither. Yeah, like if you use the next button to skip the play, you don't get to see that. It's a real bummer. It's a real bummer. All right, so this should put us on, okay, yeah, I think this is actually already different. I do not remember this happening in, oh, yep, this is totally new. All right. They're referred to as retellings in the field of children's literature. My mother tells me as I sit atop her lap. I look down on the scene of me as a small child, my mother reading a picture book to me. I'm aware that it's a dream, perhaps a lucid dream. We finished reading Mary's Child from Grimm's fairy tales. My mother is explaining the conventions of children's literature to me. I already knew the story, and I'd pointed out to her that the version I'd heard was different from the one she'd just read. She tells me that there are sometimes horrible, gruesome parts of fairy tales, so people change them to be less scary. My younger self wonders whether it's wrong to change the original story and turn it into something else. She tells me that it's because the way we approach stories has changed, and everything got woke! In the past, things that we would find cruel today were considered normal. A retelling isn't really about altering the story to be something else. It's more like adorning it with flowers to make it all the sweeter. She taught me that sometimes lies can be kindness. She taught me that sometimes words that there can be way too many text boxes, and you don't get to read what's happening until it finally pages up. Now let's see here. Of course, I cannot go back and see what that was. And that's probably why I couldn't tell my amitié the truth. I couldn't tell my amitié. Even though I knew she sought the truth about all else, I chose to lie to her. And because of that little white lie back at the end of spring, she's been suffering ever since. I once thought I wanted the truth too. Then I learned of my mother's betrayal, and a part of me died inside. That's the excuse I gave as to why I'm crying as I watch myself sit atop her lap in happier times. I should have trusted my amitié. I should have trusted Suo Shirahane. I needn't have feared that I would be betrayed again. She would still have been there for me, even if I told her the truth. But it's understandable of why, I think this all but confirms that Mayuri did what, she left in the spring to do whatever she's doing here, or whatever we're going to find out, I'm guessing. She did this of her own accord, but she didn't know how to tell Suo the truth. And it's, I wonder if she would have even been allowed to. I mean, not that she could have been 100% stopped. I mean, you could just still share that information and say you never told anybody, but... Yeah, Mayuri's actions, they make sense given the issues she has with trust. Yes, she loves and trusts Suo, but sometimes it's just I don't want to take the chance, and I don't think she can be blamed for that. She's a teenager who's experienced a lot of pain. The whispered words echo strangely within the dream space. I watch as my mother, arms still around my younger self, turns sluggishly toward me. Slowly but steadily, her head turns until I can see her face. But though her lips wear a gentle smile, her expression is terrifying, and I open my mouth wide and scream. Yet still she smiles. When my eyes meet hers, the fear jolts me awake. Above my head is an unfamiliar ceiling made from the planks of wood. Dream and reality mingle confusingly for a moment, but eventually I remember where I am. The bed I used to sleep in. Right. I performed my part as the prince in a play, and then... After that, I planned to make my exit, but Suo refused to let go of my hand, and I ended up staying over in her room. It's no longer a familiar sight. I murmur to myself as I stare up at the wooden base of the bed above me. The room is so still and silent that I could easily believe everyone else in the world had died. It's like being inside of that, yeah. That's what I was gonna say it was probably like too. That was the first thing that came to mind. I feel like I'm the lone person left behind in a strange, unfamiliar town. Can't sleep? Suo's voice comes to me from the bed above, blowing away the silence that has been dancing around me like dust. The fear that has encased my heart like frost melts away too, and I call up softly to her that I'm fine. Retellings, huh? My mother said that white lies do no harm. But my white lie hurt me irreparably, and it hurt Suo too. My mother betrayed my father, and she abandoned me. So long as you don't leave again, so long as we have a special day and you don't just try to leave again, can we not do that this time? After agreeing to Mayuri's request the previous night, I'm now following her down a path that leads toward town, or rather, all of us are. Yeah, where are we going? Although it's the Sabbath, it would probably raise suspicions if we all left the dorms at the same time. So each pair of Amitie partners slipped out of their rooms at different times and met at the start of a little path that leads to the secret lake. Yo! We're going to the secret lake, but it's in the middle of winter, so it's still kind of crappy. From there, we set out, with Mayuri leading the way to our destination. A strange tension hangs over us as we tread the snowy path, stifling any urge to make conversation. Even Ichigo, who's usually the first to break a silence, remains quiet, her concentration focused on her feet. I gaze at Mayuri's back, then over to my shoulder at the line marching behind me. Rika-san has her serious gaze fixed straight ahead, while the twins are walking along with their heads held down. Takasaki-san is gripping the handles of her Amitie's wheelchair, taking care to avoid any stones that may lie hidden in the snow. And in her wheelchair, Erika-san is resting her hands lightly on the hand rims. Her gaze is directed up into the air, and she's staring like she's spotted a cryptid hidden in the background of a photo as she mulls something over. Her sudden vocalization makes me jump, and we all stop in our tracks for a moment. Oh, good lord, where are we going? An hour? In the snow? This is crappy! Oh, we're going. We're doing it. We're finding out. We're getting answers. We're getting the lore. Mayuri looks guilty beneath Erika-san's sharp stare, and she seems to be struggling to find words to respond with. Oh, she's pissed. Oh, she's pissed. Oh, you are in trouble. I don't think Erika-san's gonna let this go so easily. I think you got some making up to do. Everybody else might be super happy here, but it's gonna take a while to appease this kitten. Yeah, look away like you know. Oh, it don't matter if you don't. Oh, yeah. Deserved. You hurt someone I love, and we gonna have words. As I'm about to try to interject again, another voice, oddly light considering the situation, cuts me off. Damn. Rika probably already had a go at tearing her apart too. Mayuri trails off and Ichigo-san giggles. That gets everyone besides then me and Erika-san laughing along too.
まり喋ってた印象って。
Oh, they get along, but there's layers to this, my dear Strawberry-chan.
いや、いちごね。
There you go. She knows, of course. Ringo of everybody would know. She understands what's in the air here. She understands the levels.
そうなの？猫にとってユリってのは毒なんだよ。知らないのか？花弁が最も毒性が高いが、葉も茎でさえ猫にとってユリは毒なんだ。もともと相性が悪い。
By the time Ichigo-san cottons on to the fact that Erika-san is the cat and Erika-san is the cat and Mayuri is the lily in the metaphor, Erika-san's sharp edges have rounded out.
八重垣さんはスオのことをずっと守ってくれていたんだってね。ありがとう。
I mean, yeah, like Rika and Erika have both kind of been her strongest supporters. Shut up. You're not getting on my good side that easy. Taking the click of her tongue as our signal, we all set off walking again. This time, Takasaki-san starts up the conversation without reservation.
そういえば、高坂さんと私が似ているという話だったけれど、どうかしら。演劇会の時は薄暗くてよく見えなかったけれど、私として
I still don't see it.
ですよ。特に顔の輪郭や髪型とか。
I don't know. Nah. I mean, face shape is just like, I think everybody has a pretty generally similar face shape with this art style, so I don't think that that's gonna have much to do with it.
そうかしら。
Takasaki-san cocks her head thoughtfully, but Rika-san chimes in to say that she's never thought they looked alike.
高崎さんは何というか、凛としているけど、まゆりはほわっとしているというか。ねえ、スオさん。リカさんの言うこともわかるけれど、体のシルエットとかは似ているような。
She do be looking.
メガネの度が合ってないんじゃないのか。演劇界での王子役のすり替えも似ている千鳥だからちょうどいいって。
Really? Is that like why we keep saying that they look alike so we could make that swap in the end? Has that been the whole thing? Is that why everybody that like since the summer, is that why everybody's been saying, oh, they look so much alike so we could set up this, so we could set up the swap in the play?
まあ確かに背格好は似ているけれどね。ゆずりは先輩も私たちの作戦に配役の妙があったって言ってたしね。
I now understand exactly why Erika-san warned me before the play that there might be some surprises in store. Yeah, you held it amazingly together considering how long this search for her played out. Well, I'm pretty sure she was the impetus for everybody. Like I said, she's probably the one that was just like, y'all, the jig's up. It's done. Before stepping inside the hidden room in the library, I thought I saw Rika-san and Yatsushiro-san discussing something. One of the questions I was still harboring is resolved, and I nod to myself.
これから向かう場所について再度確認しておく。
Oh boy. Everybody brace. Here we go. It's gonna get ugly.
それでもみんなは真実が知りたいんだね。もちろんだよ。ここまで来てなんとなくめでたしめでたしとか納得いかないよ。まあ今更だな。
Murdy comes to a stop as the others voice their agreement, then turns her gaze to Erika-san.
八重垣さん。
Oh, yeah, there's probably gonna be some dirt on the Basquiats here, and Dahlia is very clearly involved.
言ったら今更なんだよ。
Like, she may not like it, but it's also just like, you know what, it's better to just rip the bandage off and hope it's not too bad. Her words are unflinching, but having known her this long, I can tell she's putting on a brave face. For what awaits us is... Oh boy, what do we got? She says this like she's driving home a nail, then sets off down the path, the crunch of her footsteps in the snow resonant with meaning. All right, here we go. After following the path that leads from the secret lake toward town for a short while, we turn off onto a track that cuts through the forest. The entrance to the narrow path is cleverly hidden by trees. We walk along the winding trail for a while until, through the trees, we catch a glimpse of a brick building about the size of a small sanatorium. As we approach, the snow-covered path turns into a well-kept gravel drive, then a lawn, and eventually a flight of stone steps. The grounds contain a gazebo like the one at the academy, and beyond that, I see a beautiful snow-dusted garden dotted with stone statues. I admire the garden with one eye as we make our way up to the front of the two-story building. It's built in a traditional European style and uses both timber and brick. Carved angels look down on us from a distance. Mayuri doesn't call or knock or call out. There we go. She simply pushes against the heavy front door. Together, we enter the mansion where Mayuri passed the seasons. I wonder if they knew we were coming here. This can't have been planned. They know we're here now, though. Come in. I see Erika-san's shoulders jerk at the sound of the voice from the other side of the inner door we've arrived at. I know that voice. The doorknob turns and the door opens, and standing there is... Hello, Dahlia. Oh, here we go. All right. What's behind door number 1? The Awashima Mansion. Sister Basquiat smiles at us from the center of a small room, blending in with her surroundings as though she's standing in a still life painting. Her smile is different from the one she wears at the academy. I sense a hidden sadness behind it. Tearing my gaze away from her, I look around the high-ceilinged room. There's an antique-looking table and a chair, but it's two other things that draw my eye. Well, yeah, obviously this is very big. And the Angraecum flower? A wheelchair? I didn't see. Did I see the wheelchair? Okay, yeah. There's the, oh, yep. Okay, we're about to meet Mother Elder. They must belong to the owner of this room. Their face is blocked from view by the canopy, but the lump under the sheets, I can tell the bed is occupied. Who be she? All right, spill it. Sister Basquiat informs me, having followed my gaze. Noticing the figure lying on the bed, the others all exchange uncomfortable looks. The only one who remains unmoved is Mayuri. Can I ask, like, how y'all, like, kept the body decomposing there? Because that's gotta take a while, and that has got to just reek. How'd y'all take care of that? There's not enough pine sol honey in the world for that. I nod, and Sister Basquiat lets out a little sigh. She looks at each of us in turn, her gaze lingering a little longer on Erika-san, but Erika lowers her gaze, looking down. Oh. No one speaks. Silence settles over the room like a layer of dust. I look to Mayuri and Rika-san, and then I let out a long breath and face Sister Basquiat. This is the deep shit that they didn't want you to know. Awashima. Okay, that's what was written when she looked at the writing desk. And before that, to the time, it was the Awashima Sanatorium. Okay. Soichi Awashima made his fortune in the paper industry. When a family member contracted tuberculosis, he built a medical retreat facility. Okay.
それがなんで進学校に?
Yeah, that's a good question.
なんでも孫娘の死を契機に淡島総一氏が
Soichi Awashima converted to Christianity and was baptized. Okay. People, you know. People convert and do all that, you know, stuff. When, you know, when they're reminded of mortality. Yeah, like if you didn't do a good enough job of like turning, you know, a sanatorium or a seminary into a school. Hearing Rika-san repeat my last few words, I ask her whether she's identified the strange commonalities shared by the 7 mysteries of St. Angraecum. They're scary, they're kind of flimsy sometimes.
七不思議の怪異と出会ってしまうと皆さらわれてしまうということですか? 保養所で今まで仲良くしていた者たちがある日を境に消えてゆく。それを優しい嘘で
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
噂にした。そして保養所から進学校
Yeah, like those stories just continued to be handed down through the school, and then, you know, when people start feeling like school's too hard, this is like one of the ways that they can get out. Is like, oh, well, there's like stories here already about people being spirited away, so you can just, you know, instead of telling people you sucked at school and it was too hard, you can dress it in flowers and say, I was spirited away. And Sayuri Kifune was caught up in that white lie.
学院で親元を離れて不安定になった生徒を一時つながりのある保養所へと連れて行ったことがあります。おそらくそれが
歪み伝わった。もともと土壌として残っていたからのことなのですね。そういえば、
Yeah.
壁心の服
Yeah, that makes sense.
色の服装は医療従事者を思わせます。
She adds that maybe that's a slightly tenuous link. I carry on with the story.
淡島保養所から淡島進学校へと変わり、淡島一族は学校経営を続けた。経営といっても、これは慈善事業のようなものだったのでしょう。海外からも神父様を迎え入れ、ある時期に淡島家の娘と
Jericho Basquiat.
ジェリコ・バスキアが婚姻し、
Okay.
交をする。
So, okay.
バスキア
Yep,
って
that name. Hang in there, Erica. We'll get you through this.
明治の末期、戦争を機に淡島進学校を経営していた淡島家は没落の一途をたどることになった。製紙工業から鉄工業など他業種へ手を伸ばしたためとありましたが、これがいけなかった。母体としての製紙工業も危うく、当然慈善事業のような経営をしていた進学校は栄光の浮き目に遭いそうになってしまった。
I tell them that it was at this point that the Basquiat family extended a helping hand.
婿としてきたジェリコ・バスキアが淡島家を継ぐこと、そして学院長職を得ることを条件に、祖国の一族からベネリという方を呼び寄せ、
Okie dokie.
孫である淡島椿と夫婦にさせた。約束を守ったことでバスキア家は資金を調達し、製紙工業の立て直しを図り成功させた。
Okay. Okay, Sabaki as well. Okay.
そして進学校を再建。この時から淡島進学校は聖アングレカム学院となった。
I look to Sister Basquiat for confirmation and she nods.
聖アングレカム学院と名を変え、その時から主の淡島家と銃であったバスキア家との
Yeah, imagine it was!
学院はバスキア一族が親族経営するものとなったのです。
Okay.
それじゃダリア先生が学院の学院長なんですか？
いいえ、私は一族に名を連ねていますが、
Allium?
学院長は別の方が。ですが、長らく学院長として全ておられたのはアリウム・バスキア様。
Okay, so that's probably who Mother Elder is then.
敬愛を持って
Yes, alright, okay. You've successfully tied this entire place's history together and it makes sense. But I still don't understand what's going on with how Mayuri is a part of this. Upon hearing the name, a wave of cold sweeps over me like an icicle down my spine. Everyone else is shooting furtive glances over to the canopied bed, looking equally nervous. But my fear stems from elsewhere. For I remember the tree that grows against Shion Basquiat's grave. Oh, the red-berried elder. The tree with which the Judas, the betrayer, was hung. Though some say it was my namesake in Japanese, the redbud. A boy named Aster and a girl named Iberis. So, if the caretaker is not Dahlia, then the caretaker is Iberis. Iberis Basquiat did not become a nun. Okay, so let's do a little run back here. Okay, Aster. Aster and Iberis. Got it. So there was at least one dude here in the past then. All right. Thanks for following me up, Ichigo. Appreciate it. Okay, so her father... Okay, her father is Aster. All right, all right, all right. Yep. Erika-san's noise of surprise speaks for all of us. Catholic priests are supposed to be celibate. So how could he have had a daughter? Feeling mine and Erika-san's gaze on her sister Basquiat answers with a conflicted look on her face. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay. So she was never actually... Yeah, okay. And that makes sense. Like, there's like, I literally watched a documentary a while back. Well, a while back. It was literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago about how, like, children, like babies, like there was a big boom period of a point in time where babies were dropped off at fire departments. Newborns were. So that's like, it's not surprising. This doesn't surprise me that she was found. You know, she was left with a church. Oh. Sister Basquiat's words fade into the ether as though her voice has deserted her. An abrupt and chilling change comes over her. Yo, come on, sister. Come on. We gotta get it all out. Her expression is pained, and I find myself at a loss for what to say to her. I can tell that whatever is keeping her from speaking is something deeply distressing. However, only Erika-san has the courage to look into her empty eyes. She remains silent, like time's come to a standstill for her.
私は徐々にほだされていった。あなたが父を慕うように、私もあなたを慕う。
Oh God, dude. Oh.
私か
Oh,
ら
that's
大好
that's
きなダリア・バスキアを
fuck,
奪わ
dude.
ないでください。
That's really powerful. Jesus Christ. Okay. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. I idolize you in the same way you idolized your father, so please don't take the Sister Basquiat I know and love away from me. All right. Nothing a good old drink of water can't pull back. All right. Erika-san's words are like a confession. The life gradually returns to Sister Basquiat's blank stare until her eyes are once again brimming with the warmth we knew her for. Sister Basquiat goes over to Erika and affectionately strokes her messy hair. Oh. Oh.
私は
Mm.
逃げ出してしまうところでした。
Hearing the word memories, I see my chance to connect the keys I've collected thus far.
バスキア教員の養父であるアスター・バスキアとシオン・バスキアの間には何かつながりがあるのですね。
ええ。シオンは
Okay.
エルダーの長女であるイベリス様の娘。
She loses her voice again momentarily and presses her hands to her chest, clearly enduring something painful. Though her memories are of the distant past, the wound they left is still painfully fresh, gushing blood even.
私がシオン・バスキアを知ったのは一家さんの標本の中から彼女の手紙を見つけてくれたことからでした。
標本。手紙。
手紙には学院の生活が描かれ、まるで私とマユリの春から聖母祭までの出来事をなぞ
So,
記したもののようでした。
still trying to figure out how Mayuri plays into this.
そして最後の手紙はシオン・バスキアではなくアミティエであるギフネ・サユリさんが聖母役に選ばれなかったことに責めた。亡きアミティエであるシオン・バスキアへ懺悔する言葉が記されていた。
So I'm assuming that Shion and Aster probably died in the fire. That's probably where we're going here.
船さんのシオン。
Did you not see that one? Sister Basquiat looks back on the past like she's watching the shadows of a fish flit across the surface of a lake from deep below. While I know that I'm digging into an open wound, I have to speak my theory aloud.
シオン・バスキアは聖母祭のすぐ後であの旧聖堂で亡くなったのですね。
Her hands still pressed to her chest, Sister Basquiat nods, her eyes narrowed as though she's returned to that day.
ええ。風のとても強い。
Oh, she saw it happen too, dude. Oh, that sucks.
しかし夜
Oh,
シオンを呼び出して
they were gonna make up. But the place caught on fire before she got the chance.
でも火が強すぎてみんな火の中に飛び込もうとする貴船さんを抑えていた。
Oh no. Sister Basquiat's expression crumples and she nods jerkily, trembling all over as though she's reverted to the child she was that day.
助けに行った父まで煙に巻かれ
Oh, that sucks, dude. Oh, that's so tragic. It's so sad.
貴船さゆりさんは自分のせいで亡くなったと。
Yeah.
それに
She trails off, unable to verbalize the tragic events. Erika-san gently lays a hand atop Sister Basquiat's shaking them.
でもその二人が旧聖堂で亡くなったのなら少 少しおかしいことがあります。
Why does only Shion Basquiat have a grave?
おかしいことって？シオンさんとアスターさんがお亡くなりになったのなら、なぜ旧聖堂跡のお墓にはシオンさんのお墓しかないのですか？
Everyone except Mayuri looks to Sister Basquiat for an answer. I say that I assume it's because Aster Basquiat is interred in the Basquiat. Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
バスキア一族が眠る場所へ。
I know that everyone is now wondering why Shion Basquiat was left. I think that was maybe because, like, this was the place she was the most happy, and it kind of like at least let her be near the person she loved when she died.
その理由が真実の女神、そして始まりであり終わりの七不思議。
Or it's tied to the goddess of truth and the secret of the first and last of the seven mysteries, the Tulpa of Agape, which is also something that I was going to say. With everyone's eyes on me, I explain where my deductions have led me.
以前友人からタルパを調べてもらった際にイマジナリーフレンドの話を聞いたことがあります。
I explain how it's common for children to have imaginary friends and that sometimes they can even endure into adulthood. A friend born from the loneliness of one's own mind that seems to have a will of its own, sometimes they'll even offer words of counsel. This concept of an imaginary friend closely resembles that of a tulpa.
それがお墓の話とどうつながるの？まさか幽霊みたいにシオンさんやアスターさん
Are you telling
が出て
me
きているとか？
that Shion came back as Mayuri? Like, not for really reals, but like, because they look the same? Is that where we're going?
違うな。もし幽霊として旧聖堂へ現れたなら、七不思議の名は旧聖堂の亡霊だ。タルパや真実の女神が出る幕はない。
So we just like gonna play pretend? Catching Erika-san's look, I turn back to Sister Basquiat and ask her about Allium Basquiat.
マザーエルダーは火事で息子さんとお孫さん
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, this is why she was taken away then. Or why she wasn't taken away, but why she did it. I guess? This is it.
白羽さんは全て見抜いているのね。
Okay, I never would have figured that out in a million years until I had like these last bits of information.
そうアリウム様はアスター様と溺愛していたシオンが亡くなったことで行けなくなってしまった。それってみんなが思っているほどの症状ではないわ。ただ最初は気鬱になっているだけだと思っていた。
So,
だから
like,
学院でのバレエ発表会や朗読劇
she's literally out of her mind with grief. Like, her brain is, like, legit broken, and they keep her tethered to reality by making her think Shion Basquiat is alive because Mayuri looks like her?
演劇会などに連れ出して癒そうとした。
Yeah, that has to be it.
聖母祭で
At the VCU subject, she saw a student playing the role of Mary and declared that that was Shion.
シオンバスキアだと告げた。
God.
シオンバスキアを見た？だって彼女は火事で亡くなっ
But
ているはずじゃ。
Allium's out of her gourd.
そうか。そこでイマジナリーフレンド。
Tulpa.
タルパの
There it
話に
is.
つながるわけか。
Yeah. All right.
聖母祭を境にアリウム様はまるでまだ生きているかのようにシオンについて語った。白羽さんが話したことと違うのは想像の上で
She truly believed that the student playing Mary was Shion because she looked the same. The others are starting to understand. Hands covering their mouths, they look to Mayuri and to the figure of Mother Elder asleep in the bed.
真実の女神の正体は
The goddess of truth is the girl who was taken away by Mother Elder as Shion Basquiat. So this is like a thing that you've done more than once? The story hadn't ended at that tragic conclusion. A heavy silence stretches between us as we contemplate the chain of transgressions born from the depths of grief. But then a different voice breaks through the silence.
違う。
Hmm?
小坂さん。
確かにアガペのタルパの正体はマザーエルダーであり、アリウム様。
Okay, the Tulpa of Agape is Mother Elder, Alium Basquiat, but
決してさらわれたわけではない。みんな望んでアリウム様の孫として。
yeah, I kind of got that. I don't think that there's anything like it's weird. This isn't not shady. Like I obviously like this is something that like it's not. It doesn't make the Basquiats bad people. I don't even think Dahlia's bad for being a part of it. Like, this is like... Again, there's layers to this. It's not black and white here. It's only when the symptoms are particularly bad and when the girl looks similar enough. So she's got like dementia or Alzheimer's, but like whatever happened to her happened due to the shock. It's not that like it probably got worse with age, obviously.
違います。私たちは聖母役に選ばれた生徒に事情を説明し、ひとときだけシオンとして。
Okay, I mean, I get it. It's not weird. Sister Basquiat tells us that Mother Elder's delusion that the girl is Shion never lasts for long. 2 or 3 months, half a year at the longest, in return for acting as their granddaughter. During this time, the student receives preferential treatment when seeking a place at a sister school or employment at a related company.
以前、さらわれることが名誉だと言っていたやつがいたが。
Yeah, I guess, I mean, if you're set, like, I mean, if you're chosen, like, and they all are in on it, might as well.
聖母役を演じた高坂さんがマザーエルダーの目に留まり、彼女をシオンだと思い込んだ。事情を話し、何度かこの館に赴いてアリウム様と話してもらった。
It lasted longer than you thought it would, because she's been here for like 9 months, 10 months, almost a year basically. She looked so much like Shion. I mean, yeah, they're really similar. Like Shion's hair's longer, obviously. And because of Mayuri's uncanny resemblance to Shion, Mother Elder's delusion, which would usually last no more than 6 months, persisted. Yeah, like why is that? There's another girl that died here. She probably deserved a little bit of recognition, I think. Oh, right. And she came across her granddaughter's grave. She'd be messed up. So I have to imagine she'll probably be moved to the Basquiat family mausoleum, like, after Allium passes away. Or maybe, like, oh, okay. The illusion would be shattered and her heart along with it, Erika-san murmurs, and we all look toward Mother Elder's sleeping form. The story is over. Silence descends on the room again. Now that the truth has been revealed, should I ask that Mayuri be allowed to return to the academy? Or do I become complicit in this white lie so that Mother Elder can continue in her sweet fantasy that Shion is alive and well? Oh, I do believe she speaks. At first, no one notices the voice, faint as the fluttering of an insect's filmy wings. But when it again quivers against my eardrums, I realize that Mother Elder is speaking. Mayuri alters her voice to a softer, more feminine register as she crosses over to the bed and takes the old woman's hand.
シオン、顔を
So it's like, is the delusion gonna break now?
はいおばあ様
Mayuri lifts the wrinkled hand to her cheek. The old woman's gnarled fingers flutter over her forehead, her eyes, her cheeks, and her lips. Her eyes crack open slightly.
シオン、ずっとそばにいてくれたんだね。
私はずっとおばあ様のおそばにおりますわ
アリウム様、ねえシオン、バレエの試験はどうでした？難しくてなかなか上手にできないとこぼしていたでしょう。
教えていただいておりますけれどなかなか上達しませんでもバレエの授業は好きです
そう。お前の母のイベリスもバレエが苦手で、でも何度も練習して上手になったのですよ。
そうなのですかでは母に教えてもらいますね
ええ、それがいいでしょう。それ
Mother Elder lapses into a coughing fit. Mayuri fetches a jug, pours a glass of water, and holds it up to her lips to help the old woman drink. It's such an intimate, familiar act, as though they truly are family. The sight of it moves us all. And her coming here to do this of her own accord makes so much sense, actually. Now that we've been kind of refamiliarized with Mayuri's story, we know why she felt betrayed by her mother. Like, I feel like a part of her coming here is obviously to, like, fill that hole in her heart, to kind of have that familial bond. So, like, yeah, like, this actually makes a lot of sense. The old woman whose heart was broken by the loss of her son and granddaughter, and the girl who was betrayed by her own mother. The two of them have spent the seasons slowly fitting together the missing pieces of their hearts.
おばあ様少し眠った方が夕食は私が運んできますから
ありがとう。お前は本当に優しい自慢の孫だよ。
Her eyes as she looks at Mayuri are filled with love, and I have to fight back the sob rising in my throat. Then Mother Elder's gaze slowly drifts towards me.
あなたはシオンの
We absolutely are, ma'am. When her gray brown eyes fall on me, I see a sudden flash of recognition, of resistance. Then she looks back to Mayuri, and past her to Sister Basquiat standing behind her. Oh, Lord, I think it's starting to crumble. Uh-oh.
大きくなってあり息子に見せてあげたかった。
Oh, it's coming apart. Smiling at Sister Basquiat, she lets out a long sigh. She's returned to reality. Tears slide down my cheeks at the realization that her blissful dream has come to an end.
ありがとうお嬢さんシオン。
After fondly patting Mayuri's cheek and the light in her eyes dulls once again, Mayuri squeezes her hand in return, responding to the name Shion. But her eyes aren't seeing Mayuri. The butterflies. The pair of butterflies appear as though they've always been there. They flutter around the room as though searching for something. Butterflies, the symbol of my fear, yet I sense no malice from them. It's something like intimacy.
シオン ちはそんなに近くに傍らにいてくれたのね。アスタ、父様。
The blue butterflies settle atop Mother Elder's chest. It's as though they're speaking to her.
ごめんなさいね。待たせてしまって。また。
Oh, dude, I know what's happening.
咲くお庭で。
Her voice is barely a whisper. Mayority presses her cheek to the old woman's chest, calling for her grandmother. But as her long sigh fades, there it is. 3 blue butterflies flitter up from her chest. The goddess of truth and that selfless love called agape disappear from the academy, never to return. Wow, wow! That's heavy. Whew. We therefore commit this body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, all things under God's rule. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I repeat the prayer I heard at grandmother's funeral. But the rolling emotions in my chest keep the rest of the words stuck in my throat. Aww. We're in the spring and we're gonna go visit Shion. Oh. It's the flower you so loved. I laid the Ingracum flowers atop Shion Basquiat's grave, and the flowers Sister Basquiat tended to in the greenhouse. How must she have felt during the frequent visits to Shion's grave? Come here, she would have to pass right by the remains of the chapel where her beloved father... Oh, crass. Forcing my lips to quirk upward, I pray for Shion and Sayori's souls. In the end, it was decided not to move Shion's body to the Basquiat family plot. Sister Basquiat made the case that she should rest beside... Oh. Like I said, nothing a nice drink of water can't help you with. Sister Basquiat made the case that she should rest beside Sayori Kifune, who had no relatives of her own, and her request was granted. After all these years, the two amitiés are finally together. At last. I chose to leave my amitié partners, to leave Suo of my own free will. I don't regret my choice even now. Even if I was merely running away, seeing my own mother back when she was kind to me in Mother Elder. Grandmother looked so peaceful. It was worth it just to see that look on her face. If me being by her side was able to bring a little joy into her life of sadness. And yet, will Suo and Rika ever forgive me? My choice wasn't the wrong one to make. But when it comes to life's choices, there isn't always a right option. Sometimes, every choice is a mistake. I choose to leave her behind. I chose to leave her behind. Will she take me back now? Looking up at the elder tree, I pray that Suo will come find my true self as she did before. I don't think you gotta worry about that. I think you're fine. You are more than fine. She spent 10 months looking for your ass. I don't think she's given up just because, you know, of a very understandable choice that you made. It's a scene to take one's breath away. The cherry trees lining the road turn it into a tunnel Petals flutter down without a sound, like snow falling on a winter's night, covering the ground, transforming the world.
まるで夢の中の情景のようね。
Rika-san says, and I smile and nod. I feel the same way. Her eyes crinkle behind her glasses, and she stretches out her hands to catch the falling petals. But the pale pink petals slip through her fingers like tiny fish. I watch as she stretches her arms out delightedly, rays of sunshine and cherry blossoms raining down upon her. The petals twirl down to decorate her hair. And behind her, standing in the shadow of the trees, my stepmother watches me. I'm sure it's the anxiety I'm feeling over whether or not Mayuri will be here that's called her forth. At Mother Elder's funeral, she said to me, "If you want us to be amitiés again, meet me in front of Shion Basquiat's grave 3 days from now." Seeing that dark blot marring the vibrant sea of pink, and aware that it's a manifestation of the weakness within my heart, I come to a stop.
どうしたの？約束に遅れてしまうわ。
She urges me onward, but my stepmother's form only gets closer the further we walk along the carpet of petals, and I can't tear my gaze away from her.
スオさん、
Rika calls out to me joyfully.
私たち3人のアミティエでよかったわね。初めは3人1組ってギクシャクするし、いろいろなことがあった。でも
It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. An important ingredient from that soup would be missing. I totally agree. Never really thought I would have been here at this point in the story when we were at the end of spring, and Rika had kind of had a moment. She's right. As the falling petals brush gently against my cheeks, I think of Shion Basquiat and Sayuri Kifune. If they had been in a group of 3, if they had had an amitié partner like Rika-san with them, perhaps such a tragedy never would have occurred.
私はね、スオさん。今
I feel that the recent change to the amitié system is a legacy left to us by Shion and Sayuri.
一人が倒れた時、アミティエの一人が支えてくれればいい。けれど、寄りかかって2人とも倒れてしまったら、私が2人とも抱き起こすわ。だからアミティエは3人でなくちゃね。
Her dazzling smile draws one back from me. Looming like a dark stain, my stepmother still watches me, but then suddenly, like a maternal smile that reminds me of the first time I met her, she disappears. I'll probably never see her again, because within me now, I have 2 others. Friends, lovers, family, my precious amitiés. We pass through the pink tunnel toward the place we've yet to visit this spring. With each step, our memories together are woven into a tapestry, memories that both warm and chill my heart. But my heart will no longer be in any danger of freezing over. I have faith. We walk up the gentle slope until we finally arrive at the clearing. There she is! Headstone protrudes from the ground like a gleaming white sword. A tree growing close behind it. The elder tree, Allium Basquiat's tree. And then, beneath the clear and boundless sky, she turns to us.
見つけてくれたんだね。
She would find you, even if you were to go to the depths of hell. Nestled in the embrace of the elder tree, her petals opening up to the sky overhead.
いつまでも私たちは一緒だ。
The floriography of the angraecum upon her lips, she gives me a smile as bright as this spring day. Oh, man. That's real good stuff. Oh, Yeah, man, I'll just let it roll. What can I say to that, man? That's just... Oh. Bravo. Oh! Oh, God, what a good damn series. What a good story. Just... Dude, like, what can I say? Like, I think it's all in the reactions, isn't it? Like, I think my reactions say it all. It's just a very touching story. This is a story that has so many layers. It is a story that, like, you're just, oh my God. It's a story that one will think about for a while. There's so many things that this thing's saying and doing, and I think it's all really important. Oh my God, that's so good. Did you only buy apples? Is that all? You just bought a bag of apples? I got no problem with just buying apples. Oh my God, they're Pringles. Son of a bitch. Oh, it's cute. Go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like collect my thoughts while I cruise through like the remaining endings. I can't sit here and try to do like, you know, a big, hey, here's what I thought of the series overall kind of thing. Oh my God, it's so good. The two butterflies are Shion and Sayuri. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Oh, I'm sorry to have dropped an F-bomb there at the end. It's just, there's so many emotions hitting right now, and it's just all good. It's just, oh my God. What a good damn game. What a good damn story. Oh, we're going to be recovering from this one for a while. Oh, Shion Basquiat. My socially awkward, nature-loving amitié, a girl as sunny as a spring day, her smile so sweet and pure, gently enveloped my stony heart like soft moss.
ねえシオン
Hey, Shion.
なにユリ
What? Yuri?
この白い花ってなんていう名前？
アングレカム。私が好きな花よ。
私たちの学院と同じ名前。花言葉は？
私たちアミティエを表す言葉よ。花言葉はいつまでもあなたと一緒。
I sent a silent prayer to God that it would be so for us. God, what's that, like 5 times in one episode, dude? Oh, get me out of here. Get me out. Just get me out. No more. No more, dude. Oh, this title screen too. Are you kidding me? Okay, what do we got left? All right, we got 2 more things we need to do. So I imagine we've got 1 or 2 more parts left. But I'm gonna need a minute. I can't. Oh, I'm gonna need a minute. But thankfully, like, I only just started releasing these episodes. So even if I take a day or 2 away to kind of let the feels happen a little bit, we're gonna be fine. But that was the good ending, and it was a very good ending, but we got the answers to everything. I don't know that I could, like, I'm pretty happy with how everything kind of rolled out. I don't really know what happens after this. So we'll be finding out together the next time we're together. But that is gonna do it for now. We've all gotta go, and we gotta buy more tissues, and we gotta go blow our nose and feelings and all that stuff. So, hey, hope you're doing okay on the other side over there. Hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever you are, and we will catch you next time as we cruise into what remains of this wonderful little saga and the journey that it's taken us on. So 1 or 2 more parts are left. We'll see. You all have a nice one, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.